Hi, and welcome back to Until They Sleep. I'm Shantelle.
And I'm Daniel. It's been a crazy week. We got awesome weather, and I am jealous as hell because it appears that it freaking snowed everywhere but in my freaking house, and I really wanted crappy weather this weekend. I am jealous of all the pictures that you got from your family and friends, and stories and phone calls, and freaking storm just went around our house.
It did. Like, we're completely surrounded by snow. Like, the hills all around us have snow, but we did not get hit with any snow. There's snow in every other city but ours.
Yeah, I mean, I literally was looking forward to it. Like, I wanted to sit there and have some hot coffee or tea, and
I think my brother
watch
got 4 feet of snow up in the mountains.
yeah,
Yeah. And then some other people got like several inches of snow. Yeah.
oh, I'm sure
We got slush. Right? You told me that one morning when you came home there
Yeah,
was
I got the
slush.
Slurpee.
Yeah.
I call it the Slurpee.
Slush. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing. Anyway, so but aside from that, I mean
Unless you're an icy person.
unless you're into ices, yes. Oh my gosh. So I'm tired and I can't think straight, but he's tired and maybe a little delirious. So
I'm always tired.
yeah, I'm always tired too. It's just being a parent.
I'm always delirious.
No, sometimes you're in a bad mood.
Always.
Okay. Well, I mean, we still had some sick people in the house, right?
Yeah, so with the weather, obviously it's going to happen. Like we said, the kids. And shit, the kids are still under, So,
They're still not 100%, but I've been increasing their dose of vitamins this last week just because I remembered that I know these things. So, and I've been increasing my dose of vitamins too for the same reason because I don't want to get sick. So, and you haven't gotten sick.
Nah.
But you have had a stuffy nose.
Yeah.
But we blame that on stress, right? And the fact that you haven't got sick because of your diet.
Maybe, yeah. And
Yeah.
and I don't stuff it because I'm coming to realize that maybe all those broken noses through time have started to have an effect on the way I breathe and sound.
Yeah, that's completely possible.
So yeah, but
Yeah, maybe we have allergies
maybe
that we haven't.
I never had allergies as a kid, but I have heard that if you don't have them as a kid, you get them as a grown up,
And vice versa.
right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I have like a milk allergy, but it makes me sneeze. Right? I mean, you guys hear me have my sneezing attacks, and
but you're always having cookie and milk.
I love milk.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, shut up.
Always. Cold as hell, especially when it has that little frost on it.
Oh, but that's in the summer. Right now in the winter, I can't do super, super cold milk.
I think I would. That with some Oreos. Oh.
Yeah. That sounds good. Cookies and milk do sound good.
Yeah.
But we should not be eating those things so late at night.
I can't remember the last time I had that.
I had cookies this week. I went
I tasted
to the health store, quote
tasted half
unquote.
of it.
I know. I went to the quote unquote health
Half a
store.
cookie.
But when you go to the health store, right, and you buy stuff and then you read the ingredients and they're just as bad as anywhere else.
Yeah. Just because it came from that store.
Yeah.
That's supposedly all organic.
Right. But then, yeah, certain things aren't. The breads, the cookies. It's hard to find. Yeah, I noticed every time we go to the grocery store, we definitely do try to eat a little more healthy than we used to.
Yeah.
And I find myself looking at not necessarily just the content of ingredients, but how many ingredients.
Right. Yeah. I think it started when we were kind of like doing our researches on adapting our lifestyles, and then we started kind of learning and educating ourselves on some of that stuff.
Yes. Yeah. I think we have a lot of information. We know a lot about what's good for us and what isn't good for us, that we apply it on a regular basis. I know we fail on that.
Yeah, and it's hard, like with the schedules and the kids and
Yeah.
running around and it's just like hard to find the right stuff, the right
And the
ingredients,
price of
components.
everything right
Yeah,
now
oh
doesn't
no, yeah,
help.
that's definitely a big one. But on that note, so you were talking about vitamins and stuff like that, and I've noticed that even the kids now are asking for this stuff. Like our eldest. I mean,
Yeah, since he was little.
he's always on board about taking certain things when he starts feeling a certain way, and it's funny because I was kind of correlating that with the fact that you always say that he's always like one of the last ones,
To get
if
sick.
any, that
Mhm.
get sick, and I always think about that like if he's starting to feel sick or he starts feeling like a little bit drowsy or a headache or under the weather or he starts seeing everybody in the house, his siblings start going that route, he's like immediately jumping like, Mom, where's this? Mom, where's that? Hey, Mom, can I have this tea? And what is it? He's always like asking for it. Iodine?
Yeah, well, so iodine, or I guess people will say that, or you go to your doctor and say, oh, no, you don't need to take too many iodine supplements. But I've learned, this is my experience, at least in our household, that when we increase our iodine intake, we get less sick.
So I'm sorry, I'm gonna stop you real quick. So I'm a caveman. I'm a Neanderthal. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So
I'm aware.
my little mind doesn't. My hamster's not quite there yet. Okay.
Okay.
I like to listen and read like
Uh,
stuff. Uh, I like to educate myself on certain things. But my monkey brain can't relay or give out the information that I take in. I just know that my brain takes it and it stays
yeah.
there. And
You know what you know.
yeah, and I'm like,
Yeah.
well, no, this is bad because of this. But
Mm-hmm.
this is my Neanderthal mind here, okay?
Okay.
And
Okay.
I have the DNA to prove that I'm
Yes.
surprised still that the museums have not come to take me because it's more than 95 people, okay? Isn't iodine the crap that you put on your skin, like, or they put on your skin before surgery, like
Yeah. Yes. There is iodine that is used in medical field, or like if you're at home, you have a cut, you can put iodine on a cut, because it'll kill the bacteria that's there.
yeah.
But we also need it in our bodies to help our thyroid function.
Okay. So is the one that we drink or take the same as the liquid one that they put on you, or is it like one of those like it's
They're
like certain
different.
percentage is different?
It's going to be a different concentration.
Yeah, kind of like alcohol, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's alcohol that we consume,
Yeah.
and there's alcohol
And
that we use for.
there's different forms of iodine. So, for example, the iodine we take, it literally says in the bottom that it's like potassium iodide, and like I think it's like 4% potassium iodide, 2% iodine, and 94% water.
Mm.
So you've got different types of iodines, and they're used in different ways. They actually even add a potassium iodide and I believe a sodium iodide. I'm not quite sure, but I know it's potassium iodide. They use it in bread as a dough softener. So if you eat bread, you're getting iodine in your bread, but it's because they added it as a softener.
Okay, so it's one of those extra things that they add on.
Yeah, so lots of products they add vitamins to them, cereals and breads and milks, and they add all these different things.
But it's not used as a preservative. It's just as just
a lot of times they're used as they're put in there to help create the food or help preserve the food. And then because it's there, they can say that it is in there and it's good for you.
Okay, so you were saying, no, I'm trying to learn here. Okay, so maybe you can teach me and make me understand, and at the same time, hopefully, it helps a lot of people here. But like I always say, like, explain this to me like I'm a 5-year-old, right?
Okay.
So, iodine. What are the benefits of taking iodine?
So as far as the things that you should be looking out for if you possibly have thyroid, of course, always go to your doctor to have them test your hormone levels or your thyroid hormone levels to make sure that those are in line. But some of the symptoms that people experience are hair loss, but there are other things that cause hair loss, so keep that in mind. Dry, flaky skin due to bad regulation of sweating and bad cell regeneration. Also, fatigue and weakness, feeling cold often, changes in your heart rate. A big one is cognitive issues such as trouble learning in children or memory loss. And then for women, they can also suffer from irregular periods or just general menstrual issues because the hormones in their system are out of whack. So those are some of the symptoms that people may experience with any type of thyroid issue. What else?
Oh shit! I guess I need a lot of iodine because I'm losing my hair and I'm gaining weight and I'm screwed. But you were saying that about
They
my
well,
diet, my way of living, like my lifestyle. So
mhm.
you're saying that I'm getting plenty of iodine? Is that
Well,
like in my organs?
yes.
Yeah.
And it's not just the iodine; it's selenium. So iodine is necessary in our body to help our thyroid function. Our thyroid basically makes or breaks us. If our thyroid is not functioning properly, everything else falls apart because it's what creates all the hormones that our system needs for growing, learning, healing. So, without the thyroid functioning properly, we have all these different issues starting at little kid age. So lots of children who are issues with their thyroid might go undiagnosed because no one knows to pay attention to that, or doctors don't. I don't know that doctors really pay attention to thyroid issues in children. I haven't done the research on that side of it, but I am well aware of many people who have thyroid issues. Like my own aunt had to have hers removed because she had a hyperthyroid. My own mother has a hypothyroid. So it's kind of what is it that they're doing, their lifestyle that is creating the deficiency or the excess. It's also stress related. So if our thyroid is not functioning properly, we usually end up being more stressed. There's people who develop goiters, which is like a swelling of the neck when they have iodine deficiency because their thyroid is trying to create the T3 and the T4 hormones. And I mean, if I'm getting this wrong, anybody who knows more than I do, please let me know. But this is my understanding of it, that when you don't get enough iodine in your diet, your thyroid starts to overproduce. So it basically is creating excess cells trying to compensate for the lack of iodine. The best way I can describe it is that it's like a large fishing net, right? When if you go fishing, you're going to cast a larger net to be able to capture more fish. And so the thyroid begins to enlarge itself to be able to capture any available iodine in your system or in your blood. And then you need the selenium also to help with that process.
Okay, so what is selenium?
Selenium is another nutrient that you need.
So is that also like a vitamin? Is that
It's yeah, you
a
can. It's
supplement?
yes, it's a supplement. You
So
can
is
you
it
can get it
liquid
as a
form or is it a pill? Is it
no. It's not. Selenium is naturally found in like Brazil nuts, organ meat, and seafood.
okay? So you get it eating seafood and some organ
Organ
meats.
meats. Those are the highest concentration. There are some vegetables that you can get it from, but interestingly enough, the vegetables that you can get selenium from are contraindicated or you shouldn't have for absorption of iodine. For example, the cruciferous vegetables, which are going to be your broccolis, your kales, your cabbages, those cruciferous vegetables, they block the absorption of iodine into your thyroid. So this is information I've gotten off of different websites. And then again, there's lots of articles out there that they say the same thing. So it's like somebody read it and then they went ahead and copied it and just changed the wording and then they repeated it in another article. So I like to look at the medical studies So I did go to the National Institute of Health and I did read the fact sheet for iodine. And yeah, so it says that if you eat those cruciferous vegetables, it will block the absorption of iodine in your body. So anyone who's like a vegan or a vegetarian who eat only vegetables, if they don't take an iodine supplement, they're going to develop a goiter.
Now, isn't that a common thing usually, and depending on the type of lifestyle that you have, that they always recommend for you to take some type of vitamins or some type
Yes.
of supplements, right?
Yes.
To get what you're lacking.
Yes. Because a lot of people don't, I think a lot of people go into certain lifestyles not completely educated and they don't realize what they're missing until they get sick.
Okay.
So your lifestyle is as a carnivore.
Right.
Right. So you eat high amounts of meat.
Yep. Protein.
Right.
Yeah.
Protein. It's high amounts of protein, right? The thing is, you've got everybody telling you that that's wrong, right? And it's not wrong. Even if you go into all these different studies, they tell you that you're going to get all the nutrition you need from that meat. That includes iodine, as long as the iodine, so basically the meat that you're eating, the protein that you're eating, if it was raised or given supplements, you're going to be getting your iodine.
So, okay. So on food, where can you find iodine? You said pretty much on everything?
Okay, so iodine, they add iodine to salt, which is why we have iodized salt.
Okay.
Seaweed is going to be your biggest bet for iodine naturally.
Nope.
Fish.
Okay.
Eggs.
All right.
It is in dairy, but it's in dairy because they add it as a supplement to the cows.
Okay.
So it comes out in their milk. They do add iodine to bread, but like I said, as a dough softener.
Okay.
But you'll never find it in pasta, interestingly enough. So you will find it in bread, but you will not find it in pasta. Fruits and vegetables will have a super, super minimal amount unless it's in the soil that they were grown in.
So how do people find out if they need to take iodine?
They can request a test to make sure that their T3 and T4 cells are working properly. If you have hypothyroidism, most likely you need to increase your intake of iodine. And again, people, I am not a doctor. This is information that I have read from medical studies that I have reviewed myself. So if you have any doubt to what I'm saying, please don't take my word on it. Read it yourself. Look it up yourself.
You make the kids and me take iodine.
I do make you guys take iodine.
You're not just pulling out of your ass. Like, you've done your research.
I have done my research, but again, there's people out there. And
I mean,
need to
isn't
say,
even your dad, like every time he's like, "Oh, have you taken your iodine?"
Yes. Well, and my dad, he runs a nutritional department for a hospital. Of course, this hospital is not in the U.S.
But that doesn't matter because like everybody there is American, pretty much.
Yeah.
And there's clients that are from here that go there.
Yes.
Right?
And
it's mainly like a.
It's a healing resort. It's basically a hospital where you go because you couldn't find a doctor in the U.S. to help you. So you go to this hospital as a last resort. But unfortunately, what my dad always tells me is when people get to this hospital, it's sometimes too late.
They're too far.
Because whatever their condition is, it's not always they can't help them get better. But many times it's just too late.
Okay, so you pretty much grew up with like parents that always made you guys take vitamins and always recommend, taking iodine.
Oh, yes.
Ever since I known you, it's like, well, iodine, and I kick and scream, and I'm like, oh, forget this. This is whole garbage, right? It's trash. I hate it. I hate how it tastes.
Yeah,
And
it tastes horrible.
And it's just a couple of drops in my water, right?
Yeah, it tastes horrible.
Whatever. If it's good for me, then I'll take it.
Well,
right?
and they even tell you if you're out in the wild, you can add iodine to your water, and it'll kill whatever's in it.
Okay,
so you can drink the water.
Bacteria could be on it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if they put it on your skin, right, to prevent anything happening to you, right? So yeah, that should work like that. Okay, so what else? What was that other one called? I'm sorry.
Selenium.
Selenium. That makes me think of like something else, kind of like IV, kind of.
Well, and the thing is, the deficiency of selenium is similar to that of iodine, but it's because they both affect your thyroid.
Okay, so selenium is all those pretty much
your
cabbage
organ
family,
meats.
right?
No. Selenium is found in organ meats.
Okay, so selenium is an
Brazil
organ
nuts.
Meats. But you're saying if you take too much of those cabbage and What
Okay,
else?
so there's lots of food. So okay, if you're
What
eating
blocks you from? So if I eat a lot of
cabbage,
cabbage, it blocks me from getting iodine.
cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, soy, cassava.
Well, I don't eat none of those
I know
things.
you don't eat any of these things,
Especially starting with the soy.
but there's
That's
lots of people out there who
yeah,
do,
that's a big
right?
freaking no for me.
So the foods that interfere with the absorption of iodine, they're called goitrogens, and I don't know if I said that right, but they're going to be your cabbage, your broccoli, your cauliflower, your soy, your cassava, your kales, basically anything in the cruciferous family, and a lot of your roots. So if you go to third world countries, and I've seen, you know, documentaries on this.
They'll eat meat.
No, there's some places where they don't eat meat, right? So then they have villages full of
Where?
people. There's tribes around the world where because their land is not good enough to grow grains and grasses to feed their herds, they eat a lot of roots like cassava, right? So these people tend to develop goiters.
I don't know what cassava is, to be honest.
Cassava
I don't know.
is yucca, I think. It's another word for yucca. When you eat too many of those things, they block the absorption of iodine into your system. They actually, interestingly enough, also block the absorption of vitamin A and iron. But we'll get into those another time.
Oh yeah. Okay, so cassava is a root vegetable. So okay, so you're okay. So it's like a potato and yams. All right, I see
Yeah.
it. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So when you eat too many of those things, it blocks the absorption of iodine into your thyroid or into your system. So if you're not getting enough of iodine, if you're not taking an iodine supplement when you're eating these things, you'll develop goiter.
Now let's just, like I said, I'm not trying to instigate or anything, but
No.
so let's just say that you're taking this stuff, but you don't do anything for yourself aside from that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you don't live an active lifestyle.
Yeah.
You just you don't take the time to go for a walk, or you don't work out, or you don't maybe do no push-ups or anything like that. Like, does it have a big effect on you? Like, is somebody that works out on a regular, somebody that's fit, do they still need to take the same amount of iodine probably as a person that doesn't? Or I mean, is that still one of those things where you need to go to your doctor and be like, I need to get tested to see what my iodine deficiency is? Like, is there a big difference between the two different types of lifestyle? An active lifestyle?
I don't know. I don't think the active lifestyle. I have honestly not done the research on this, but in knowing people who are active versus those who are not active, I have not seen a correlation between activity and being hypothyroid or hyperthyroid or having enough. Iodine is strictly dietary.
Now, sorry, thyroid, right? So, could that lead to the thyroid cancer?
Yes. Thyroid cancer, yes. Because that's part of the lack of the proper nutrients. So the thyroid begins to overproduce. The cells get bigger. So it's all linked.
I'm sorry, I'm just like still at the same time kind of learning about cassava here, and it's just crazy for me because I never knew it by that name. So I'm just like, it's high in calories.
Well, okay, so yes, those foods are all high in calories, so you will survive on them, but it does not mean that you're getting exactly what you need to thrive, right? So even in American diet, right? So they say, oh, you'll get your daily recommended value in the food that you eat. So your doctor might say you don't need to take anything else because you're going to get it from what do you eat? They ask, how much of this do you eat and how much of that do you eat? And you tell them, oh, I eat this, I eat a little piece of chicken, and I have my protein. I follow my pyramid, and I eat plenty of vegetables, and I get my dairy. So you tell the doctor that, and they're, oh, good. That's enough. The truth is, it's not enough. It's not. We know that because we've seen people who live a certain lifestyle, and their health is horrendous. Right, they suffer from so many different issues.
I don't ever want to eat cassava. I'm sorry. I'm just like, so cassava contains about 191 calories per 3.5 ounces.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which in comparison, right, it says here sweet potatoes, the same amount, right? The same servings of 3.5 ounces contains 90 calories. So cassava automatics are already like 100 more.
Yeah, but okay, so
101.
but think about this. If you're living in a developing country or third world country, and that's all you have to survive on, because
No,
that's
yeah.
all that will grow.
But give me a second. So carrots, the same serving is 35 calories. Okay, so hey, I mean, all right. So yeah, it's a high calorie content, right?
Yeah.
Which is supposedly important. Okay, in many countries, like a stable crop. Let's say,
Yeah.
right? But it all depends on how many calories you take in a day, how much you burn per day, right?
Yeah,
So that's
exactly.
a big difference, right?
Yes.
So that's why people count calories. But here's my other thing. Okay, this is just it's harmful if consumed raw. It says that
There's a lot of vegetables and things that are bad for us if we consume them raw. Even, I mean,
it can release cyanide into your body if eaten raw.
Okay, well, there's other vegetables that people eat that they don't realize are releasing these things into them also.
I just find it funny that this shit right here, like, it's plants.
Poisonous.
Yeah, and they give me crap for eating meat. And, oh, what about gout? What about this? And I'm like, dude, but you eat worse stuff and man-made stuff. I mean, that's where broccoli is, right?
Yeah, broccoli is man-made. It is, because the original broccoli looks nothing like the broccoli we eat.
I'm sorry,
now.
I'm getting sidetracked. But I'm interested in learning. Like, it's crazy how it all correlates like together, and it's all tied. You know.
Yeah.
Do genetics have a lot to do with iodine deficiency or selenium?
Not that I understand, because it is based on your diet.
Okay.
So if you just do not get enough of it in your diet, you will end up with some type of issue. And it's not just a thyroid issue in the sense of, you'll develop goiter. It literally is all these other things, as like a child will not be able to develop mentally. They won't grow correctly. Also something called Hashimoto's disease and Graves' disease, which basically your autoimmune system starts to attack the thyroid. And I don't know too much more about those things. And there's lots of deficiencies. It's not just iodine, but since iodine and selenium work together to function, to help the thyroid, do its thing, create these important hormones that help us thrive. If they are out of balance, then everything else is going to fall apart as well. Yeah. So I think it's very important to make sure that your iodine and selenium intakes are peak, and when we are sick, I do increase. This is what I do for our family, and this is what I've been doing for our family for years now. And we are all fine. Our blood work is fine. I do increase our iodine doses. I do increase our multivitamin doses, and even herbal supplements, just to make sure that especially in time of illness, that we're going to have more than enough so that we can combat whatever's in the air. Right?
So then you were saying, so on iodine, so I've noticed when you were saying whenever we're starting to feel like we're going to get sick, is the reason why we consume iodine is because it helps fight the virus?
It helps to increase your hormones in your body that will help to fight the virus.
I don't need iodine then. My hormones are
not those hormones. It's not the hormones that make you want to do that.
Testosterone. It's called testosterone.
Not that. These are the hormones that help regulate your body's function. Okay, like I said, it helps regulate your ability to learn, your ability to think clearly, your ability to grow.
So apparently I never had iodine as a kid
then. Oh my gosh. Yes.
So then seaweed, fish, and shellfish, right?
Eggs.
Iodized salt, right?
Iodized salt. But that's an added. It's not natural.
Some dairy.
Dairy, it's only in dairy because they give supplements to the cows.
Okay. We said beef liver, which is the best.
Your organs. Your organs. But again, your organs are only going to have iodine if it was in in the grass they were eating, the soil, or given to them as a supplement.
Do chickens contain this? I mean,
Yeah, it's protein as long as it was given to them. So you have to remember,
that's why I was asking, because I know chickens are.
We don't create. No animal creates iodine. No vegetable creates iodine. It's a salt. It's a mineral.
Roger that.
So it's in the ground. So if the soil that anything is grown in is depleted, or the grasses that the animals are feeding on, if the soil is depleted of iodine, then they will not be getting iodine.
Okay. So then iodine. All right. So how often do you recommend to our kids, or how often do you give them?
Right now, because they were all been sick, they get iodine every day. They get at least 3 drops a day
On water.
in water, yeah, or juice, yeah.
And per day, you mean like beginning of the day or throughout the day, like those drops?
I'm not like on a strict schedule with them about it. It's just at some point in the day.
And what about selenium?
The selenium, I'm not too worried about because we do eat organ meats.
Yeah.
But we do have a supplement if I needed to. And it is in their multivitamins. So they do take multivitamins. There is selenium in their multivitamins.
Okay, yeah, I was about to ask you that.
Yeah.
Are these things ever added on multivitamins or?
Yes.
So it's not just liquid. You can also get it in capsules and stuff like that.
Yeah. And our kids are on a liquid multivitamin right now, except our teen, he's on a regular vitamin. But they do have selenium in them.
Okay. And have you ever found yourself like telling people, hey, maybe you should take some of this, or do you just rather not go?
I don't tell anybody to do anything because people don't listen.
This is more like, well, this is what
this
I do.
This is what we do.
Yeah,
this is what we do. We're talking about what we do at home, what I do at home, because this is what I know. This is what I've learned over the years. I am, again, I don't know if anybody heard this in a previous episode, but I am an HHPA, which means I'm a holistic health practitioner. I did go to school. I did study many, many, many things to become a holistic health practitioner. So, and in that line, I also grew up with this, right? Like you mentioned, my parents raised us with this whole idea. My mom used to make me make my own capsules of vitamins, of herbs, actually, to keep me supplemented, right? It was something she taught me to do. And where I have taught our son, well, the only one that's on top of it is our eldest. He did really good listening to me when he was little. He's the only one who will drink tea without any sugar or any type of sweetener. And he, like you said, he's the first one. He's like, hey, Mom, I'm not feeling too good. Let me get some of this tea. Or where are my vitamins? Where is the iodine? Right now they have what they're drinking, minty water, they call it, because it's an herbal tincture that I purchased from one of the health food stores, and they've all been taking that. What do they call it? Minty water.
Okay.
So, but yes, point being that in this household, I give the kids iodine. I take way more iodine than the kids do, but I'm also much more stressed than they are, which is another, factor of, burning up those hormones in my system every day.
All right. Well, iodine.
Yeah. But there's also herbs that you should not have if you have a hypothyroid. You should not have lemon balm. Lemon balm is a wonderful, wonderful herb, but you shouldn't have it. If you have any tea with lemon balm, don't drink it if you have hypothyroid.
Wait. Lemon bulb?
Balm.
I thought that was like a lip balm.
No, it's not a lip
flavor.
balm. It's called lemon balm. They also call it Melissa officinalis. It's used to help
calm people.
Yeah,
To help them calm down.
basically. Yeah. So
it's like catnip.
It's like catnip, yes.
Yeah.
For humans.
For humans.
But it's not marijuana, not at all. It's not like that. Because I think people usually think marijuana as catnip. No, it's not like that. It's an herb.
It's not oregano?
It's not oregano. No, this is used to help calm people down. I've actually even heard nurses. We know a nurse, right, who I remember she bought a essential oil that had this in it, and she was diffusing it where she was working.
Yeah.
And everybody was just like super happy and calm and at peace. And they're like, oh my gosh, what is this? This is great. And it was just the scent of it, this aromatherapy, just kind of helped keep everybody calm. So,
What about animals?
what about animals?
Would it be okay? Like, do you give iodine to our animals?
I have given iodine to our animals.
Oh, really?
I have.
I did not know that.
Yeah. I've given them, once in a while, I don't give them very much because I don't have a lot of information on that, but every now and then I'll put it in their water.
I give them liver every once in a while.
I know they love liver.
Yeah, they go crazy.
Yeah, they all love liver, and there's actually liver in the fridge right now.
Yeah.
So
I learned that I hated liver as a kid. Like it wasn't one of my favorite things to eat. My mom used to cook it on a regular. My sister loved liver. And then once I changed my lifestyle, my body started craving it. Like I was like, man, I had to.
but it's because it has everything in it.
Yeah, they were like, I was, everyone that I listened to and I was learning from before I went down the path, they all talked about the benefits of liver. But I was like, I just in my mind, it's like that and kidneys and
We still can't do kidneys. I mean, we've tried kidneys.
Yeah.
That's still hard for us.
Everything else I'm all right with, but
I love heart. Heart is my favorite organ. For me.
But man, when I had that liver that first time, I was like, man, I was so satisfied.
I know what we're having for breakfast.
I was like, but you know what I learned? I love it on the grill.
Yeah, you did tell me that. Grilled liver.
I don't care for anything else. I just on the damn grill. It's the best thing for me. So yeah, I'll just keep on doing that. I'll get my iodine and my proteins and vitamin K and B12 and everything for my liver. Thank you. And et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, since liver has everything. So
yeah, no, I mean, like our kids are not fond of liver, but I remember as a kid I wasn't fond. I don't know any kid. I wasn't either. I don't know any kid that likes liver. It's definitely something you grow into, and we do try to give it to our kids. Right, we've snuck it into a couple of dishes, and our eldest is like, just tastes like liver. He automatically knows. But I've noticed lately that even the flat meat kind of tastes like liver. It tastes very vitamin-y. And I don't know if that's just the cut or if they're pumping vitamins into the animals more lately. But I've noticed more that. Of the cut?
Yeah, it's got to be the cut. It's got to be also like the way it's cooked. Maybe when we cook it at home and then
but we only
like triggers something the scent. I don't know.
We only use butter and ghee.
Yeah, and that could be it. Like it's just that alone. But I know for most. Well, like for me, but like I said, it was that onion liver. Like it was like covered in onion, like caramelized onions. Like, and I hated it.
But now you like it.
I don't care for the onions.
The onion part, yeah.
I like it by itself. Like I said, I like it on the grill. But okay, so then I'm glad to know that I get that I get my iodine out of that. I know we usually have that difference is that I don't care for the multivitamins and stuff like that because
you don't.
I believe that through my high protein diet, I'm getting pretty much everything that I need. I will take it every once in a while. It doesn't hurt. Mm-hmm. Why not? Like why not? I know that it helped you a lot, especially during the pregnancies, like taking all those vitamins and stuff like that. So have you ever met any other parents that like have ever said like, "Oh yeah, I do that too to my kids"?
No.
Or no. Or,
I don't know any parent that does what I do because I don't know anybody that was raised the way I was raised. So I know parents who try. But I know way more parents that don't do anything. I know parents who feed their kids junk all day, and I even have family members that are like this. They don't believe in vitamins. They don't believe that they're necessary. They're happy with canned everything and junk food, eating out every day, and they have horrible health, you know, or their kids are ADD or ADHD or some type of autistic. And I just know so many people on these high sugar, no vitamin diets.
Well, sugar is like one of the biggest drugs, I think.
It is. It's a huge drug.
It's the biggest, most addictive drug
Yeah.
out there right now.
Yeah.
And I'm speaking from my own experience because I remember when I started changing my lifestyle, that was the hardest part for me was the sugars. My body, and
It craves it.
Yeah, it craves it. And the snacking, just wanting something, and I knew that was the sugar. Like I realized, that's got sugar. That's got sugar.
Everything's got sugar.
And you start looking at exactly ingredients, and you start realizing that it's like one of the top
even
5
spaghetti
ingredients.
sauce.
It's all sugar, and so I'm like, what are they adding sugar to this stuff? What are they masking behind all this sugar?
That's true. Which is why I started looking at ingredients, and not necessarily the name of the ingredient, but how many ingredients something has. So like even if I go to buy a loaf of bread, I'm like, okay, which bread. I know you don't eat bread anymore, but I still buy bread for sandwiches and things for the kids, and I'll look to see. I'll buy the one that has the least ingredients.
Yeah, I know
it's
that
hard.
If I ever go to Europe, I'm definitely gonna try the bread.
Well, and we heard that from my brother, right? So my brother was in Europe.
From a lot of people.
Well, yeah, everybody says. Well, from my experience, my brother had said that he has issues with gluten and dairy, and
we all do.
When he was over there, though, he ate everything and had no reaction. And so he's like, it definitely is the way we process food here. Yeah. And like you said, people who have told you the same thing.
Yeah, no, so. I also like similar, like my brother-in-law, I have a friend that went to Europe for a while, and he was like, dude, the bread is so freaking good over there. The butter is so good over there. Like everything's so different. Everything's so good. Like I don't know what it is. What is it in the wheat and the flour?
It's the way it's processed. It's the way it's grown. That's what it comes down to. I mean, we over process everything here.
Well, yeah, it's all about consuming, right? So I imagine there's a lot of preservatives too.
Yeah, and it's not about quality, it's about quantity.
Yeah.
Right? So how many fields can we get planted to grow the wheat without necessarily worrying about is that soil that it's being grown on full of the nutrients that we need to provide these people, Well,
and then fine. Just add a little iodine.
Just add a little iodine. Our 4-year-old was freaking out because grandma gave her some oatmeal the other day, and I really don't give them oatmeal because it's just a grain, right? And I was like, you know what? You're going to have some iodine in that. I put a drop of iodine into her oatmeal, and it turned black. And all my mom did was mix it up and give it to her. And I was like, oh, that's an interesting chemical reaction. I'm going to have to research that. I haven't looked up why it turned black. So, but it was an interesting.
I was about to say, is that the reason why you've been reading all this iodine
I
stuff?
think so, yeah. But I haven't found anything to tell me why it turned black.
It's one of those, why did I start looking into this? But...
yes. Well, I've also been looking into it because, everyone was sick. And even my mom, who raised me with all this stuff, gosh, she's been super, super sick, right? And she's still not 100%. And then here I am, like, you raised me to know all these things, like all these herbal remedies, all this vitamin stuff. Actually, she was more herbal remedies. My dad was more about vitamins, but it's kind of like, you know what to do, and you have not applied any of it to yourself.
Okay, I was about to say, so isn't that proof that this is all hocus pocus and it doesn't really work?
No, right? No.
If she's not following her own advice, then...
And we all do it, though, right? Isn't that the joke with psychologists? That psychologists are the most messed up because they're great at telling other people how to fix their problems, but they don't know how to fix their own. I think it's the same with me, right? I have all this knowledge and information. I don't share it with people, right? I don't really talk about it. I don't push vitamins on anybody.
It's hard, though, because a lot of times people are just like, their way is the right way, and they can't be wrong, and they can accept that you know more than them, and so they just like get butthurt and they don't want to talk to you anymore. Like I've experienced it. Like you said, when I've been going through this damn carnivore road for almost for 3 years now, right? And I haven't been 100 for the last year, but I still have to hear all the, it's like, oh, well, this is bad and this is good. I mean, you're a fucking fat ass. Well, don't tell me that this is not good for me, or like you're failing tests on your doctors and they're concerned about your heart or, your diabetes and your cholesterol and whatever. I might not be a muscular or skinny twig person, but every time I go to the doctor and they do blood work and they do everything, they're like, sir,
they're like, amazed, right?
You're in great condition. I
Mine
can't believe
too.
your blood work is what it is. What are you doing? Whatever you're doing, keep doing it.
Yeah.
I got to a point where I even just had to lie to the doctor and be like, I'm doing keto. Oh, okay, great, awesome. Yeah, like it shows. It shows on your blood work. It shows like amazing. Yeah, keep it up. And then this last time I was like, nah, doc, like, have you been taking your painkillers? It's been 3 years since I've been off my painkillers. I was like, oh, well, what are you doing? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a carnivore. I'm 100% carnivore.
That's he just said it's extreme keto, right? That's
what
he called it.
Oh, yeah, extreme keto. Okay, I get you.
Well, but that's better than a doctor that would harp on you about it, period. Being like, oh, no, what are you doing to yourself? The fact that he said, oh, it's just extreme keto was a better reaction than we ever expected.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, my doctor would never say that. And I never see her. I try not to see her because I don't like her. So, and she's definitely not forward thinking when it comes to health. So, and it's so funny because so many doctors that they toot all this information like, oh no, don't do this and don't do that. They're super unhealthy. They're overweight. They have bad skin. They have bad hair themselves, they're not healthy, yet they're over here, telling you don't do this and don't do that.
Now, did I imagine this before? Did you also say that iodine is also good for people with like dry skin?
Yes. It's all part of your thyroid.
Oh, okay. So it's all connected.
It's all connected.
I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm really dumb,
No.
I don't understand the thyroid and its purpose and what, like, how it's all connected and how it works. I just always hear it.
With people who don't have a thyroid, they literally have to be on medication for the rest of their life to keep their body functioning at some level of normal.
Now, thyroid isn't that part of the nervous system?
No. It is located just at the base of your neck in the front and underneath your Adam's apple area. So it's like in this region right here at the lower part of your neck.
Yeah, it's a small butterfly-shaped gland located at the base of the neck. Man, look at that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
Talk to me about broken arms and clavicles and sports stuff.
But it's right there. So your thyroid, I mean, it's a good thing you didn't hurt yourself here, right? So, because the thyroid is like right in this area.
Okay.
But the reason I'm talking about iodine and the thyroid is because, the kids have been under the weather. My mom's super under the weather. But my mom does suffer from hypothyroidism. So she is deficient in iodine but she's also very high stressed, right? She's also got a lot of other things going on, which requires an extra dose of vitamins and iodine. And once again, I'm reiterating, I am not a doctor. This is my own experience, my own research, my own observation in my own family and with people I know. And again, I've also done my own research online. So please feel free. You can find all this information online.
All right. Well, this has been kind of interesting, educational in a way, especially for me.
Yeah. Iodine's super important. Like I said, I take a lot more than I probably need to at this point, but it's just because I don't want to get sick.
Yeah. No.
I can't get sick. If I get sick, who's going to take the kids to school? Who's going to get them fed? There's so many things, so many moving pieces. I cannot get sick. And it's because I usually get sick when one of our children in particular gets sick. For some reason, I get sick every time that child does. And this time I did it. I do joke about the fact that this one child was our 10-year-old, right? When he gets sick, it's like the world is ending.
Oh my God. The kid, what was that comment he made?
I don't remember.
He has so many conspiracy
he's
theories.
Always saying things.
But they make sense. But he's hilarious.
Yeah.
He's out there.
Well, he's the one though, but when he gets sick, it's like the world is ending. And when he gets sick, I usually get sick. So I don't know if maybe that's like stress related because he stresses me out so much when he's sick that I end up getting sick, or if it's just some type of connection that I have with him. But this time I did not, knock on wood, get sick. And I will keep taking my herbal supplements and I will keep taking my iodine and my multivitamins at bay as long as possible.
Okay. Well, I think we can talk more about vitamins down the road, and I think I want to talk about my lifestyle too. Just what I'm pretty sure there's people kind of wondering why and
Yeah.
what led me to it, and
Yeah, that's
what had my
definitely
side
interesting.
effects and
Yeah,
what,
and we've learned a lot because I wasn't 100%.
Oh, you were so against
Yeah,
it.
I wasn't 100%, but now that I've gone through the process with you and I've done my research, I understand.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's so funny for me. I was like, I can't explain it. Here, read this book.
Yeah, that literally was what it was. He's like, "Here, can you read this book? This will tell you." Like, and I did. I read the book and now I get it. So,
And then, what you were talking about, certain doctors that you see, and, they look like crap and they're fat, or they look like they're, about to, they're skeletons. And then I showed you the doctors that
yeah.
live the path.
Yeah,
I'm
and they're
going,
in great shape and in great health. And yeah, I will definitely take advice from that doctor over my doctor any day.
And people, if you hear squeaking in the
Audio.
podcast and the audio, I just want to let you know that here the journey for the chair still continues.
Yes.
This was the right height, but there seems to be a little bit of a squeak.
Because it's a rocking chair.
Yeah. I will give in and buy one, okay? I'm going to have to. But the thing is, how much am I going to spend on this?
Oh, my gosh.
And right now, it's not a good idea. We had a crazy weekend, too. So I'll change the subject real quick. We've been busy. We're beat. We're tired.
Yeah. We
But
almost didn't do this.
We're not going to procrastinate and cut off for those 2 listeners of you out there that support us.
Are faithfully
on
listening.
every episode.
Yeah.
We're not going to let you down.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed this conversation tonight.
And maybe learn something if you didn't know anything about iodine and selenium and how it affects your thyroid.
Yeah. And
hopefully now you know.
Definitely reach out. Let us know. Like we said, you can mainly find us like on Instagram. We have an email, or go to our domain page.
And we'll probably touch base on this again as it correlates to other vitamins down the line.
Yeah, we always say we'll call back around. But yeah, so thanks for being patient with me. I mean, I guess I know I just have questions. I mean, you're smart. I'm stupid. I'm sorry, I'm not stupid.
You're
but,
not stupid. It's just dumb. I like to research things and I like to know a lot, and you tell me it's because I'm nosy, but I rather know than not know, because knowing is half the battle.
Oh,
it is.
Joe.
Yeah. Go, Joe. So again, maybe I got my information wrong. Maybe you know something I don't.
Oh yeah, no, most definitely. If you got something more to say about it, like I said, definitely reach out, let us know. I know we all have different opinions and different points of views, and we all find different researchers, right? So.
Oh, and I do also want to say you can definitely take too much iodine and hurt yourself. So there is.
Well, everything has a moderation.
Yeah, yeah, everything in moderation.
Yeah.
Just understand. Don't go and all of a sudden, I need to take a bunch of iodine.
Cassava, like you can't take too much of it. That's what I learned today. Cassava, no, not in my casa. Se va. Get out of here, cassava.
Oh, it's so good when it's cooked.
I have no idea.
You've had it. It's yuca. You've had yuca before.
Have I?
Yeah, in Peruvian dishes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't eat it.
You did once. You have had it in the past.
Oh yeah, I did on the Peruvian ceviche.
In the ceviche, yes,
ceviche
they
so
put
good.
yuca. That's cassava.
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't eat it because of the damn cassava. I ate it because of the damn fish.
It was
and
delicious,
the way it was
though.
made.
But
It's
again,
so
it's in excess, right? I'm not saying don't eat these things ever. It's just these people who live off of these things are going to develop a goiter if they don't get the supplementation. Just like they're saying on the articles I was reading, saying that vegetarians and vegans, if they are not getting their supplements, they will develop issues.
Yeah, and that's what we're saying. I think everybody, in a way or form, no matter what your lifestyle is, especially nowadays, I guess we should be taking our supplements, and that includes me too. That doesn't exclude me. I know you. I mean, I
I
take
tell you
them.
all the time
Yeah,
that you need to take your
but and I
supplements.
take them when you tell me, or you put them right there for me. I take them.
Shove them in your face.
Yeah,
About to
I
put them
mean,
down your
aside
throat.
from that, I'm not gonna go out of my way to do it. I mean, my mom, if she was alive, she would tell you the same damn thing, that she had the same problem with me with the damn fish capsules and that syrup thing. Man, she made me do
our
it.
10-year-old likes. He's always like, "Mom, do we have any? What does he call it? Fishy oil?"
Yeah, and
He's
that
like,
was
"Mom, do you
a
have any fishy
regular
oil?"
in my house. Like, you had to take your damn fish oil.
Yeah.
And,
Well, now they have that orange flavored one. The kids like it.
oh yeah, I had that as a kid too.
The kids like the orange
Yeah,
flavored
yeah,
one.
that one's not that bad.
Okay, topic
Yeah.
for another day.
Yeah.
Talk about that another day.
Yeah.
Thank you for making it this far, and we hope you learned something. And have a great night.
Yeah, thank you for joining us once again. Appreciate your time, your attention, and love and support. Just want to take the time to say it's been an awesome 10 episodes so far.
Yeah.
And here's too many more. Damn,
All right.
10 already.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like, yeah. All right, cool. Well,
All right.
yeah.
Good, great rest of your week.
Have a great week, yo.
All right. Bye.
Peace.
If you're still listening, thank you. This is going to be a little fact check section. I realized that I was not as prepared as I had hoped to be with some of the questions my husband threw at me. And no, we had not discussed any of this information prior. So he did definitely catch me off guard with some pretty good questions that I didn't think about. So I am fact checking myself right now with some of this, and I might have missed something. And if I did, please let me know. I wanted to reiterate that I am not a medical doctor. I am a mother, and I have experience dealing with these things in my personal life, and I know others who have used the things I've said in their personal life. I have studied it, I've researched it, and I am giving information on what I know for myself. I am in no way recommending that anybody follow this without doing their own research. Also, any sources, I will be noting the sources on the podcast details. So if you want to look more into this information, you can go ahead and click those links to get that detail from the sources that I researched. So I wanted to confirm what selenium is. I know I mentioned selenium, and I really wasn't prepared to talk about selenium. It was more like a mention. But I will give a little more information here kind of as to where it's found or where it comes from. And so selenium is a semi-metal found in minerals and usually mined from the electrolytic refining of copper. And when it is found in larger doses in Brazil nuts, for example, it's because the soil where the Brazil nuts are grown in South America usually are very high in selenium. And I guess, again, this is something I'm not completely sure of what happens here, but I guess normally soils will have sulfur in them. So when there is a low sulfur, selenium replaces the sulfur in those soils. And because they're very similar to one another, that is what ends up getting absorbed into, for example, the Brazil nuts. So that is why Brazil nuts are high in selenium. I wanted to clarify about goitrogenic vegetables and actually how much do you have to consume of those to inhibit absorption. And I found websites that say you need over 4 pounds of goitrogenic vegetables every day to cause damage. And then I found others that say 25 milligrams of goitrin will inhibit iodine absorption. Also, I found that they did studies on baby foods or formulas, and babies that were fed soy formulas were more likely to develop autoimmune thyroid disease versus babies that were fed other formulas and, of course, breast milk. So that was a big yikes to me. So again, depends on what website you're looking at and who you want to believe. In the end, it really is just trial and error on a lot of these things. My personal belief is that a lot of times the reason half the studies say yay on something and the other half say nay is just because they don't have the resources to do good research or good studies on a short-term basis, much less a long-term basis. But it has been proven in communities in developing countries or third world countries that people who live off of goiterogenic vegetables consume them on a regular basis, and a lot of it because that's all they have, that they do tend to develop goiters because of that consumption. So, I mean, there's something to it. Depends again on who you want to listen to and who you want to believe, as everything else in life. So, going on from there, how do you test for deficiencies or excess? Your doctor may request imaging tests of your thyroid to check for abnormalities, or through a blood test to check your TSH, which is your thyroid stimulating hormone. So if you've ever had that done, you should be able to see your TSH levels on the paperwork. My husband asked me if increase of activity requires more iodine, and the answer is yes. Also, increase of stress requires more iodine. And the studies that I've read say that high stress and anxiety have been correlated with either too little iodine or too much. And that selenium is related to anxiety and depression, meaning it assists with anxiety and depression, while iodine primarily assists or is related to anxiety. Also, as iodine and selenium are minerals, someone who sweats a lot would need to replace those minerals more frequently. So if you are extremely athletic, if you're even out jogging, you're going to need to get those electrolytes back in your system, as these are minerals. I believe he also asked me about thyroid cancer being linked to iodine deficiency or even excess, and I could not find a concrete study confirming or denying this information. Again, this just goes back to what I said about most companies who are doing these studies just not having the resources to do a proper study. And like, for example, on the one study I did read, where they said that there is a correlation, they also stipulate that there are too many other factors that they didn't look into, or that they're not discussing, that could have also been a factor to the cancer. So again, that's inconclusive on the studies. They believe it may. So. And then I also wanted to kind of talk about where iodine comes from. So it is a mineral, and it can be mined from underground brines, usually associated with natural gas and oil pockets. It is also harvested from seaweed farms, where the seaweed turns the iodide in the seawater into an iodine gas that is released into its environment. I also mentioned that I put a drop of iodine into my daughter's oatmeal the other day, and it turned black, and I thought it was weird. I did look up why it did that, and iodine has a chemical reaction with starch where it creates a triiodide ion complex. Once this triiodide ion complex forms, it can slip into the starch coil and mix with it, but this reaction makes it turn black. That is why that happened. And also lemon balm. Sorry. I mentioned lemon balm, and I just wanted to clarify what lemon balm is. It's a scientific name is Melissa officinalis, and it is a member of the mint family. It has actually been used since before the Middle Ages as a reducer of stress and anxiety, to promote sleep, improve appetite, ease pain and discomfort from indigestion. And so it's a very old herb. It's very well known, and it's got these really great properties. But as great as lemon balm is for these things, it's also contraindicated, or that means you should not have it if you have any thyroid issues or on any type of thyroid medication, without talking to your doctor first. And again, with any of this information, talk to your doctor first if you have any questions. I have learned that very few doctors are truly educated on nutrition. Many doctors only get a couple of hours of nutritional information in their studies unless they actually are a nutritionist. And even then, a lot of times the data is old. There's so much information out there, people. So again, talk to someone who is a professional in these fields, or research it yourself. All right. Well, thank you again. I hope I clarified some points that I might have missed or kind of skimmed over. And thank you for listening. You have a great day.